having some fun. You know, you got to make fun of the oldies every now and then. You know, the boomers of Thai Dota. A difference here as Jabs and 23 Savage having some fun. Yeah, this is going to be a very high harassed lane. You've got Iron Shells, Clockwork with Battery Assault. They're going to be constantly getting up in this Void space trying to force that Time Walk. But Void, you know, already readying himself. You mentioned the Time Walk. He's also got the stick. He's going to be playing just for as much sustain as possible.
All you have to do is
it's just going to focus in that farm. Whitemon's really got the work behind him to keep applying that Thunder Strike, try to keep these heroes low. There is a good amount of regen on DJ. At least he does still have the salve to play with. And they can always just go for the creep pulls. So in the end, you can kind of run this greedier off lane, just pull back the creep wave, get your EXP, wait for that level 3 spike. It feels a lot scarier coming out from FNATIC, although DJ is dropping low in this trade.
Is he winning this battle? He's trying to, but he gives up first blood. Whoa.
Strygor's tracks run red.
Must have been a little while since he's played the old Clockwork. Now, Battery Assault is not what it used to be. Although I actually think he had played Clockwork not too long ago, but we'll ignore that.
Yep, he does at least get a top up there. You know, he gets back to base, grabs an extra salve, an extra set of tangos to help sustain, but you don't TP like that against Disruptor.
Oh no. This lane is off to a terrible start, yeah.
I'm not even trying right now, and I'm lagging.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jabs. That's exactly what we're all thinking. Well, that's what DJ's thinking, perhaps.
And now he has to smoke back to lane. And on the bright side, it gets... Oh, God. Yeah, Whitemon's doing so much.
Oh, he'll die to creeps. DJ actually got the XP, so good news for him. He gets back in time, but he's creating a free farm lane for this Void.
Yeah, and it's not what you expect. It's a Darkseer clock. You expect that lane to really be aggressive, to line up for Darkseer and clock, and he's just putting his body forward, spamming out those Thunder Strikes. He's going to have boots in the lane now, so it's harder for DJ to chase him down with the Battery Assault, and that just makes it a lot tougher to find that footing. The opposite lane here for T1 FNATIC, you've still got Raven on the Lifestealer and Johnny Well on the Treant up against Cuckoo on the Mars and Zephyr and Dark Willow. It's holding a little bit more even. Like Cuckoo and Raven are trading farm. There's not as much kills coming out. There is still aggression that can come through here, especially for T1. You can kind of bramble, use the spear, use the God's Rebuke to shove someone into bramble, but you have to respect like the durability from this lane. Treant and Lifestealer are fairly tanky. You don't really want to fully commit onto them. Lots of HP, and Johnny Well can trade back. So I think this is the more passive lane coming out here, and it should end up being pretty good for Raven if he does just manage to free farm. Like, he's not going to be able to flash farm as much later on, so having a good laning start for the Lifestealer is a huge boon for FNATIC.
Let me.
It's nice to see a good old standard honest Dota lane. None of this shenanigans of the top lane where, you know, this Disruptor is just carrying the game. But you look at the mid lane as well. The Armal Queen of Pain versus the KARL LINA, two classic mid laners, and so far it has been Lina getting by far the better of Armal's Queen of Pain. So KARL getting some revenge for last game now that he's on the Lina.
Yeah, just having a much stronger start, really using his range advantage, his
pull back top,
well to whoop.
Vacuum into the cogs. They get on top of Whitemon, who does break out, but with the Iron Shell damage as well, they manage to get the kill. And DJ will get out A-okay. This is what they need. Just a few levels hit like level 3, and that's when they get a whole lot stronger now that they've got level 2 Iron Shell, level 2 Battery Assault.
That's when the aggression can come in, and this is where you can start punishing the Disruptor. Savage is still fairly well protected. You're losing your Disruptor. You're not really stopping the Face's Void from farming, so I think you take that trade for T1. Still having that emphasis on cutting off Whitemon, which is really what you want. Like, you want your support to be sacrificed there. You want Savage to still farm, so T1's still getting something from this lane, but you do have to watch as those levels come in. Like, say, once they've got the value point in Surge, it makes it a lot easier for DJ to keep looking for those opportunities now. And if you can always line them up, it should be, you know, good days ahead for Jabs to just clear out the waves, get the farm, hit level 6, and start building up on that Disruptor, on that Darkseer.
Come back into the top lane. I mean, they're out of time dilation to bother FNATIC and keep them at bay with the glimpse as well, so just making sure they keep their distance away from these double Iron Shells.
It's a bit tough. Like, you do at least have this window. Glimpse is a fairly long cooldown. You can try to realign, go again, but Jab still doesn't have the best way to sustain his mana just yet, no?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Much set to go. You've got the vehicles on hand in the game. You can start running around at. T1 does rotate their supports onto mid, but so does FNATIC, cutting off those power runes. Armel not going to find his. Is taken by Whitemon.
Make a glimpse back here. Well, let's say waiting for him. That's a kill. KARL.
What a punk.
Happily taking that one with the Laguna Blade.
In terms of map control here, Gods, but the economy's still going T1's way. They've got the better jungle stacks.
They're not done. And now called KARL and Lina. The fear comes out from the Terrorize. The Sonic Wave follow-up. KARL still alive. He's going to turn and try to throw out some damage. And with the TP in from 23 Savage, they've got a Chronosphere if they need it. And Armel is going to be next to full. FNATIC get a bit overzealous looking for the Lina kill. And they're going to have Januel get glimpsed back in and Lagunaed by KARL. 3 dead on the FNATIC side. T1 can get a T1 mid tower.
Just no opportunity there for FNATIC to play around. They do have at least one forward ward in the triangle, but not enough watching that top jungle. Though the hook's out.
Hook shot. They go in on the Dark Willow. Is the Iron Shell damage going to be enough inside the Shadow Realm? The spear is there to push him away, and the Dark Willow will survive. Jabs, he's maybe overcommitted now as well. Tries to run his way out, but there was a glimpse as well as a maze that he couldn't find a way out of.
And it's...
Cool, hook shot mid. They start things off. That's a BKB on the Mars. He does manage to barely get it off as well as the arena. He does end up dying to the Sonic Wave. Chronosphere on 3! All on the edge, perfectly placed, but the Overgrowth is there to stop any damage coming out. 23 Savage has the follow-up from the Lina, though KARL finishes off the clockwork with the LSA onto the Lifestealer. They get the follow-up kill onto Raven. 2 down and they want more. They're not done. KARL with the Yules into the LSA, but it's going to be dodged by Armel's BKB. And Armel's turning and fighting, doing what he can. Has a blink out, which he may just have to use because he is not winning this battle. As Jabs has been stunned up on the back lines. Caught by the root. Can he get out of this one with the Surge? It looks unlikely, but he makes it out. Okay.
That could really just change the game.
Yeah, the Lina did chop just at the end to do some damage here. Blink Spear in the mid lane. Pop gets caught before a BKB, but they get the vacuum. What a vacuum coming out as Armel looking to turn and fight now with his BKB pop. They got another Overgrowth on 23 Savage who barely manages to time walk out. He keeps himself alive, and KARL on the front lines dishing out all the damage with the Lina. DJ goes down on the clockwork, and at time perhaps to hightail it out of here. It's FNATIC Raven trying to surge his way out of there. Gets an Iron Shell, but they barely keep the Faceless Void alive on the side of T1.
Point as much as he wants.
He's not the target you want to go on, but they're looking for that infest in DJ on the backlines. They get the Mars, but the force up is there to push him a bit further away. The Overgrowth locks him in place. Can the Lifesteal finish him off? Not with the Chrono, but the Sonic Wave will do the damage. Lifesteal is still alive and kicking for now, but his rage is worn off. He needs to get his BKB off, but the fear is stopping him. Gets the BKB off, but he's being bashed now by the Faceless Void. There's too many bashes. Oh, it was perma-bash, like 3 or 4 bashes just back to back. And he just couldn't move, even in the BKB. And a great Terrorize from the Dark Willow.
It looks like Januel getting a good angle with the Overgrowth, and T1 are much more prepared for that counterplay now. They've got a self-dispel on Savage with the Satanic up. So it's not a big worry if it does BKB, although...
Vacuum punch on the KARL, but Jab's gonna be throwing away his life to just try and save the buildings here. He will instantly buy back. Look to come back into this fight as they want to defend their base. They get the nice long-range hook shot from DJ, the pushback onto the Void, but there's no follow-up stuns. And DJ, he's wondering, where's his team at? They were not ready for that long-range hook shot. The split push, and question is, what can FNATIC do to contest this one? Roshan already down to near half health. Blink in, Willow. Ooh, very aggressive move. Just going to ward on the high ground, but they immediately infest bomb on in. Willow does get the self-use off. That's going to keep her alive for a little bit longer. Gets into the Shadow Run with a nice Chronosphere. Catches DJ on the edge as well as the face, as well as the Lifesteal in the middle of it. Overgrowth comes in to buy some time, and now with the Static Storm of the Void, he's still going to go down to the Sonic Wave, but he gets the time walk off just barely at the end there. He survives through all the damage, and they killed the Lifestealer. Januel used his shard. Could be the impact they need with that little bit of extra silence. Cuckoo gets up the BKB in the front, has a refresher for a second BKB and potential ultimate, but now Queen of Pain could be in some trouble. Playing in the middle of this fight, Januel blinks in onto the Dream Protector. They're trying to force his Roshan. Faces Void. Time walks in, time walks back after getting the kill on Jab. He goes back in once more. He wants Januel. This Void, he is just so elusive, so pesky. He's killed off 3, forcing out a buyback. The Queen of Pain gets glimpsed back and bursted down by the Laguna. T1 playing the perfect game.
T1, oh, go up.
Oh, Chronosphere. They jump in, they catch two. That's the Queen of Pain with Jabs. And Jabs finally going to pop himself out there. He wants to face his Void. The Illusion's doing some really good damage here. He's locked in place. He's stunned. He's gets hexed up. They bring down the Void. Clock with the buyback. He's looking to turn it around. Great clockwork initiation in the middle, but then losing lives here. T1 are buying back, making sure they win this fight with KARL. Damages Lina. Just a machine gun turret in the back lines bursting through FNATIC despite the Void going down. It's KARL. Key items, a PKP on clock, a Daedalus on lifesteal, and said, we got to get these items to try and win this game, but now it may just be game over. T1 don't know these heroes don't have buybacks, but they are going to press the advantage and try and force them. They're going to catch the Queen of Pain bottom at the Static Storm. This may just be GG.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
It is. They call it. We're going to a game 3.
Radiant's
Oh,
bottom
what a
barracks
tight
are under
game.
attack.
You know, it was T1 in control for a very long time, but FNATIC weren't completely out. They had ways to play that. They had some good counter initiation. I think Johnny Well did a great job with the early overgrowths, and then down the line it was on to Jab.
At some point, it felt like, you know,